Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. This is a public roundtable. It's a free public roundtable from the 1M1M program. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond, $1 billion in global GDP, and 10 million jobs. Entire, purpose for existence is to help you. We are the only global virtual incubator in the world. We work with entrepreneurs all over the world, no matter how far away from any startup hub you are. We are happy to work with you and train you pretty much in the same techniques and methodologies that everybody else is using, whether it's in Silicon Valley or in New York or in Austin or in India. You are nuances that are specific to your geography, but there are certain things that are universal. Customers have to be found. Entrepreneurship equals customers plus revenue plus profits, and we define entrepreneurship as financing. So the emphasis of our program is to help you find customers. And that's true around the world. This is our 96th session, by the way. So we've been doing this for a little while and have had quite a bit of perspective into the entrepreneurship ecosystem happening in different parts of the world and what kind of issues are coming up and so forth. So live tweeting the show, please use hashtag 1M1M. And our Twitter handles are at 1M by 1M and at Sramana. If you want to follow us, we have a very high content, rich content Twitter channel. Our YouTube channel is where you will find recordings of these sessions, including today's after the show, and most previous sessions are on this YouTube channel as well. It's 1M1M Roundtables. There are lots of goodies in the channel. We work with 3 entrepreneurs with slides and full pitches, and then we're going to open up the line for open Q&A. So anybody who wants to dial in and have a quick chat, this is going to be your number 650-479-3208, and the access code is 662-770-240. Dial-in instructions. We'll put these back up again when we are ready to take the calls. Okay. We're going to start with Kalra. By the way, folks, make sure you set your chat window to be sent to all participants. Not send private messages to me. If you just use the chat as public chat, we will have an opportunity to take questions from public chat and comments and discussions and so forth. The public chat is also your area for networking. You can introduce yourselves and introduce your projects, where you're calling from, what kind of business you're working on, and so on and so forth. We see a lot of networking going on there, and we encourage that. So please feel free to take advantage of the public chat. And we are going to start with the positive access, Harry Kalra. Harry, if you can please come tell us what you're doing, that'll be great.
Sure. Maureen, so everyone, so I am running a recruitment firm right now, and at present the services I provide are normal contingency recruitment service, like 1,000 firms out there. So I'm looking for other areas within recruitment and how can we simplify, because in my experience, and I'm sure other experience to the recruitment in itself is a very inefficient market. So I'll start by starting a little about the firm, and then I'll go into the details. So on slide, you see business, the website. I am looking at the Bay Area. I've experience of around 4 years in recruitment and around 6 in finance and business intelligence. Safety. I've been running a recruitment firm from last for the. I have tried all kind of strategies customer acquisition, and others are cold calls. Now, as it's a very crowded market, so when I cold calling, I ask a lot of questions that, if you're not interested in my recruitment services, but help you. And I'm asking one question over and over again, and that question is that, if I have a strong candidate, would you be interested in that candidate? A lot of firms have said that okay, do we have some vendors and we don't want to add more vendors, but if you have a strong candidate, then would be open to have them. And whole research of customization has to think to come up with a business model where I could be specific, like if I build on a particular industry and some particular profile and the relationships with some specific candidates in a particular industry, then I can market those candidates to specific clients and business model towards India.
You suggesting that the candidates are going to pay you?
Not going to pay me. So candidates not going to pay me. How it's going to work is actually if you next slide. So I know this slide is not clear, but what I've tried to explain is that, for example, I am a manager. So I have to explain our recruitment process here. So, for example, I'm a manager, I need a resource. What I do is I tell to my HR or a candidate, then post the website, post the on LinkedIn, on Monster, and he will hire more recruiters. And those recruiters will call some candidates. And it goes and goes, and it goes on until a lot of candidates apply for those positions and they make a hire. I mean, if you look at the whole process for one position, thousands of man-hours gets wasted. And this whole recruitment process, which currently is getting transformed as it's very inefficient for everyone. It's inefficient for the candidates, and it's inefficient for recruiters and for the company. So what I'm planning to do is that instead of going through the whole process, I drill down to specific positions, build relations with very strong candidates in a particular profile. For example, if I'm looking for BI architects, okay, I have a relationship with 2 BI architects in the Bay Area, and then those candidates to clients. So, and if that, then at present, say 2,000 hours getting wasted in that position. I can reduce down, I use that down to say 300 or 400.
So it's the employer's paying you on a contingency basis, is that what you're saying?
The client is going to pay me contingency basis, yes.
Okay. And then your clients are willing to agree on that if they hire from your dates, they will be willing to pay on a contingency basis?
They will be on a contingency. I don't have a firm right now, but looking like all I did right now that I did some customer validation, and I'm still thinking whether I should delve or not. So I'm deciding whether it's a good idea getting into or not, and for I wanted some suggestions.
I'm trying to remember what is the name of the company. It's a group. Just a second, I can. Basically, it is a company that is acting as programmers. You know, what is it? Developer auction, I think it's called. Developer auction?
What they do?
Essentially, you know how in Hollywood, for example, or in sports, talent gets an agent. right? The agent represents that talented person to the various opportunities, whether it's a sports team or a movie or whatever, right?
Okay.
The role of recruitment in those industries is not the way our industry works. Our industry works where the employer hires recruiters to go find candidates. But in those industries, the talented candidates have agents, and it's the agents who work with various products and opportunities. So the auction is has, like you're saying, has relationships with a lot of high-end developers, and have also relationships with corporations, and the corporations pay them, and they kind of basically auction, they manage the whole process of putting a developer in the market and getting them introduced and interviewed by various hiring managers in various different companies that the developer expresses interest in. So if you look at this company, it's probably one of the most innovative and innovative companies I've seen in the recruitment space, which returns the model of recruitment on its head.
Okay. Okay.
So, it has similarities to what you're saying. They have a, very love approach to the candidates. They treat the candidates with lots of, red carpet kind of treatment.
Yes, that's exactly what I am trying to do. Because if you look at the recruitment industry, right, whether it's a junior level or a senior position, recruiters just treat candidates, in a bad and unprofessional way. They just call when they have a position, and then they just leave them. So there is a the client who is looking for a product, but we are just trying to find a product when we have a role, and don't have a role, we just leave the product alone. So that we are trying to sell is in a, I would say, proper way. And
well, look at developer auction. I think that may be the kind of business trying to build, and there's some precedents, which it's always helpful to have somebody start experiments. So there's somebody has already started the experiment, and it's working, from what I can tell.
Okay, sure. So now, our struggle with our position is that how to acquire candidates and how to acquire clients. So when I'm talking about customer acquisition, and I'm trying three things. I'm trying cold calling, I'm trying LinkedIn, and I'm trying network. I'm still not sure how to go at it. At present, my approach is not very specific. So I know what will work and what won't.
Yeah, that's something that normally you're going to have to try. First and foremost, you're going to have to go to your existing network, and I see since you've been in this business for a while, you have certain existing relationships, and you kind of have to build from there. So this is mostly, especially kind of candidates you're talking about, they're in high demand, right? A BI architect is a marketable skill.
Right.
In high demand. So you have to convince them why they should work with you. What do you bring to the table that's special?
Yes, right. So after this model gets established, what I'm planning to do is that I can a network of 2 BI candidates in a particular area. I get a database, and I can.
So now you need to figure out how you're going to build relationships with 200 architects. You don't need to think about what will happen once that is done, because that is a difficult problem that you're going to need to first solve.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Go figure out, go study developer auction, see what you can learn.
Okay. And so basically a couple of things which I'm right now. One customer acquisition, it's very tough to talk to companies. They already have our own list of vendors. I can only call them when I with profile and sell those services to them. The acquisition we have already talked about that it's tough to build relationships with strong candidates. As in I'm an H1B in US, so I can't do a startup in US. And what I'm doing is Canadian citizen, so I was registered in Canada. So I'm still not sure how I can solve this. I mean, at present.
Do business as a firm in Canada, probably that's not a problem, right?
Yeah. And another which I wanted to have your suggestion was that how to niche market, and I mean I can do whole of intelligence area as I've experienced in that. Either I can select a specific area. I can focus on a Bay Area or only on a specific zone, or I can a particular or a country, but that's very geographic market. So I'm still thinking about should I start in.
There is a whole process and methodology of how to build a business, and that's what we teach in 1 million by 1 million. So if you are interested in learning how to business, how to position a business, what you're asking questions about are positioning questions. And you're going to need to learn how to do positioning, and we teach all of that in the program.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay, then Ahuja, you're up next. Karan on it? Yes. Hi, Karan.
Hello. Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Go ahead. Tell us what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am. So, can you please go to the next slide? Thank you. So we're now building a new prototype. It is called Choice Man. The problem we are trying to solve is that we will tell them which product to buy. For example, suppose a shopper wants to buy a mobile phone, we will choose the best mobile phone that serve him the best for his needs, his requests. How I stumbled upon this problem is I purchased a phone for a friend to give a friend, and it didn't work out properly. So I had to return it, and then give me a refund, and I had to buy a replacement. So because I was once bitten, so then I decided to do some online research so that the next time I don't make the same mistake. Then I said the product that I had purchased initially, there were a lot of complaints for it online also. Means in a lot of consumer forums, people launched complaints about it. And also, then I started searching for a better product. I came to one particular product. So doing this, I went through a lot of comparison sites. I saw that these comparison sites, they are allowing us to compare with only specifications, but the specifications are not giving the true picture. So we had to bring user experience, also the product experience into the picture. Means we had to compare two based on what of experience they are giving. So this problem we are trying to solve. Can you please move to the next slide, please? So from other similar comparison sites, we will bring product experience into the picture, which by collecting data from actual users, collecting the data from social media and expert reviews. We will crawl these sites and use NLP to get this data. So our comparison will be more rich, and it will give the true picture. Means we will aggregate data about experience, about reviews, complaints, and specifications of a product. So websites are just giving specs comparison as of now. So can you do the next slide?
Let me ask you a question here. If you're trying to do, you are going to call and get a bunch of unstructured data that you're then going to translate into some sort of a structured format to be able to do user experience comparison based on people's feedback?
Exactly. You're right on target.
Do you have the technical skills to do that?
Yeah, we are all engineers and we are working from more 7 years now in novel development, software development, and the area of prime interest for us now. Over last 6 months to 8 months, hacking strongly on machine learning and NLP.
Okay.
Yes, it also means our learning process is continuously on through books and online courses. And we done that also. So what we did was we get structured data. We surveyed a lot of users and we tried to identify what data will be useful for them, what final data makes a difference to their purchase decision, matters to them. So based on that, we hired one editor and we created all the structured data. Now we roll all the unstructured data and we try to map this to the existing structure that we have. We simplified the problem by finding the end structure that we want. Okay, this slide talks about the problem. Specifications don't give the exact picture. Two phones will have same specifications, but there can be a world of difference in them. Can we go to next slide? Okay, go to the next slide, please. Hello?
You have same slide multiple times. Do you know how many times you have the same slide? 4 times. Okay, good.
No. The is different. The content is different. Similar, but the content is different. The problem is that fake reviews on e-commerce sites. So this confuses the user. Then sometimes mis-selling also in the offline stores. The client tries to connect one particular product through which they get more commission. So our unique value proposition is that we will tell the users the different reasons to buy a particular product. We can say that one particular phone has better vibrant display compared to a different phone. I have that example. For example, Sony Galaxy Core has a vibrant display screen as comes Sony Xperia L. So what friends are recommending. So we will include. Can we go to the next slide? So basically we plan to aggregate data and come up with some definitive ranking. Also map the user's needs to this structured data. So
here's my feedback to you. This is new space, as you know. Comparison shopping has been around actually since the very beginning of the internet. So we've been seeing the various flavors of comparison shopping businesses since the mid-90s. And of course, the web over time has become a lot richer. There's a lot more data now. There's a lot more user-generated content now, a lot more reviews, a lot more stuff to crawl from. So conceived with a different data structure, a different kind of machine learning algorithm, you may be able to come up with something, but it really depends on how good your product is. To be able to compete in a market that is a mature market and that is a highly crowded market, you need a product that is significantly more than whatever is out there in the market. Yeah, that's from the audience, by the way. Rohit Sharma is asking you. He's been using cnet.com for this. What different value does your product bring? And it's not just cnet.com. I think there are, like you identified, Find the Best. The founder of DoubleClick is doing Find the Best. In a comparison shopping mode. We've done their story, their case study. So there's a lot of work going on in this area. So you really need to come up with something that is just product-wise so vastly superior. And that goes back to my original question: is do you guys know how to do this? Because this is a very, very high order technical problem.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for the feedback. And I just want to answer the question that Rohit Sharma has raised. So with chat.com, what happens is you have to read each product's reviews, and you get some data from there, and you have to compare on your own. So we simplify this. Means you don't have to read each product's review, because multiple products. For example, in a budget of 15,000, there are 4 or 5 very good products available today. So you don't have to read through CNET reviews for all these products. Some people, a specific customer segment must be existing who enjoy reading these reviews. So our target is people who don't like to read that much and who enjoy it that much and want to make a quick decision. So those guys will prefer us over CNET.com.
There are companies who have tried to do that. WISE, for instance, WIZE, this wise rank algorithm to do the kind of collection of different kind of feedback and then putting a ranking on that. So you need to look at what in intellectual property terminology, what we call prior art. There's a lot of work in this area, and you need to really do a thorough assessment of what has happened and what's working, what's not working.
Yes,
to get into the market at a very late stage of the game unless you have something dramatically better quality.
Correct. Yes. Thank you.
And
yes. Just one more question.
Launch without a product that works. So you have somehow figure out the danger of a product like this is that it will take you a long time to build this product, and it's expensive. And until you put it out there, until you come up with a compelling product and put it out there, you're not going to get much validation.
Okay, so should we stop writing the problem and should we just focus on building a strong product now?
Well, you understand the gaps in the market. See, again, it boils down to what is your competitive positioning? How are you going to win in this market?
Yes. We play through data only.
Based on what you've shown so far, I have not seen a compelling strategy how you're going to win in the market.
Through data.
It doesn't feel to me like you have full on this problem.
Okay.
And you fully appreciate the complexity of the technical problem that you're trying to deal with.
Yes.
Okay.
And any thoughts on the initial customer development? Again,
if it's a good product, then there's a question of customer development, and there are very specific customer development strategies in B2C businesses.
Sure.
These types of businesses often use search engine optimization as a way to harness customers. That's a lot of comparison shopping type businesses have been built on organic Google traffic. You could do all the blogging type of stuff. You will be able to do some amount of social media based customer acquisition, but everything will be predicated upon the fact that you're a good product. This customer acquisition for this kind of stuff is expensive these days.
Okay. Yes. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. Clark Richter, up next. Channel Navigator.
Hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity today. Calling from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay. All right.
You can go to the next slide, please. Incorporated under the name FASA LLC, which is a loosely Latin term for channel or ditch. And we have basic purpose, or our mission is to basically connect different IT vendors to ideal channel partners, and also IT buyers or job seekers to local businesses. I'm founder, Clark Richter. My background is over 15 years with various, primarily vendor manufacturers, companies like Checkpoint, Citrix, WebSense. Really, the origin of the company came about from my own personal experience moving from company to company. Everybody has a CRM system, primarily Salesforce.com. But by and large, most companies don't really have much business intelligence on their channel partners, and most technology companies sell at least half their revenue through channels of one form or another. So we launched the company in February of last year, self-funded myself. Been pretty much profitable since the second quarter we were in business. And not that I make a whole lot of money, but at least we don't lose money. Have 5 employees and contractors. Leverage some offshore resources for some of the updating and database management. The parent company do some channel development consulting with clients, but primarily our purpose is really to operate 2 different websites from our database. We market separate websites because we feel we have a different audience with each of them. The Channel Navigator site, which we'll talk the bulk about because that's our revenue stream, subscription-based intelligence tool. The easiest way to describe it is something most people are familiar with. Hoovers are done in Bradstreet for the IT channel, if you will. We take a subset of our data, we publish it to another site called iRumbo, which is a Spanish term, rum line, that is the most direct way to a destination, navigational term. And so we operate that for free to help people try to find local businesses to help them with their IT needs. The purpose for talking to you today is, I'm looking for a mentor, access to mentors, education on running, growing a business, guidance, networking, and kind of taking the business to the next level. You can move to the next slide.
Okay, I'm going to give you one piece of feedback right away. Why are you trying to build 2 businesses? Channel Navigator, I can see the case for. Channel Navigator is something actually, especially because there's so many technology businesses out there right now, and most of them are looking for channel partners. So yes, if you can create a compelling DNB/Hoovers for the channel options for technology vendors, I think that is actually a compelling value proposition. There's takers for it. I think people will subscribe to be part of that network.
Sure.
But I see not much of a case for.
Great feedback. Yeah. And part of why we did it separate was we thought we'd get more content, generated content by providing free marketing to companies. Quite honestly, we haven't gotten that content and haven't really gotten the traffic to the site.
I would scrap that project. iRumbo, scrap it.
All right. Okay. We can move to the next slide. So the Channel Navigator, about from the fact I mentioned earlier, the vendors are manufacturers, hardware, software, sometimes software as a service, cloud types of companies. They lack any business profile and intelligence on their companies and their business partners and their CRMs. More importantly, they don't know who their non-partners are. Most people have, information on their existing partners, but they don't know who all their non-partners are and who are their potential channels. The traditional data sources are really built on antiquated NAC and SIC codes. You find a company that's incorporated 20 years ago, they might have been an electrical engineering company. Well, in fact, they're a software as a service provider that specializes in security now. So traditional business databases don't really help you identify these companies. And also important to the technology industry are multi-vendor relationships. Most technology solutions are comprised of software, hardware, service components. So there's multiple vendors usually involved in the solutions, and there's really no place in the market out there that type of relationships identified. Other challenge we're trying to fulfill, it's a dynamic industry, a lot of turnover of employees, a lot of mergers and acquisition. People have different priorities throughout the year that they're always looking for new channels to go after. And the majority of channel companies are privately held, so there's not a lot of intelligence or information available out there in the marketplace. And we found there's a lot of user-generated content that people rely on, things like a Jigsaw, Data.com. The quality can be somewhat marginal, and so you get a complete picture of the business. So Channel Navigator is a tool that's available via subscription. Our customers either have direct access into the database, or we just deliver whatever they want to them via file. Really, we work with a marketing and a sales organization at the client. The level starts at $100 a month, and then for an individual to have access to the full database, and then we also sell packages that also include the delivery of more bulk contacts or records, starting at about $1,000 for the year up front. The customers that we work with are primarily vendors, hardware, software companies, service providers, recruiters, solution providers, that actually are looking for acquisition targets. And as I mentioned before, typically the marketing department usually has the budget to purchase this and offer it up to the sales group. Sometimes we start with the sales organization on an individual basis. I guess we view our competition primarily as other sources of contacts out there on the internet, .com, Jigsaw, LinkedIn obviously has a lot of information, Dun & Bradstreet, that I mentioned before, and then there's Zoom Info. Internal media companies we compete with quite a bit, as they have lists for people who have opted in to receive their magazines or content, and they file those companies. And then we also compete with the distribution tier of the channel itself. They have a lot of intelligence on these types of companies. You can move to the slide, please.
Where did it come from?
Where
data coming from?
I've got a slide, I think it's one or two down, that tells you our methodology. If you want to skip over the iRumbo thing, because you told me to skip that, I think I'll get to the slide right after this one. We've got about 15,000 companies in the database. Those are headquarters, by the way. Over 40 different fields that you can identify them by. And the they do is profile based on solutions, services, technologies. Try to gather the baseline employee and revenue types of numbers. And we have over 80,000 contacts that are identified by levels and departments. If you go to the next slide, I think that's maybe the methodology. So basically the methodology is pretty straightforward. We're essentially an aggregator. We go out there and identify resellers and partners through public locators. Big companies like Cisco's, Microsoft's of the world have partner locators. We pull and get a baseline of their companies, put them in a database. We then try to update the profile based on the websites of these companies. Most of these companies, the web, their storefront, so to speak, if they're in the technology space. It's a certain amount of information that most of them have on there. The part of the iRumbo model is to open that up to them to take over their profile. We do get some companies that do update their profiles for the free marketing on there. But basically, if we can't find it on their website, then we actually call them and try to, just profile the information. And then we go pull key contacts from other sources, places like LinkedIn or other sources out on the internet, and try to get those into the database, and then try to keep them up to date by validating emails on a monthly basis. And it's a very manual process, but we regularly touch about 15 to 20% of the accounts and are purging out about 2 to 3% of the emails per month. And then just on an ongoing basis, try to review those partnerships, especially at some of the growing, leading technology companies that are adding partners, and update and add those on an annual basis. You can go to the slide. So to answer your question on how we find the data?
Yeah.
So as far as customer acquisition, we've been at this for, a little over a year and a half. I guess I estimate our cost average per customer is about $650 if I take roughly our sales and marketing costs and divide it among the customers that we're adding for the year. That doesn't include, obviously, any of our own time. We do, email marketing, newsletter, direct mail, webinars. We've done some, obviously, I'm a salesperson by training, so, I do a lot of the sales myself. Social networking, personal relationships, things like that. We've tried some outsourced inside sales, and we can get it down to about $100 per meeting. Not that they show up for every meeting, but we try that as well. Trade shows. There's some industry associations that have been valuable. The trade is primarily, people that are marketing at a channel-focused trade show. We look at our prospects basically, so we just walk the floor and walk up to the trade show booths and, try to network that way. We've tried some channels in terms of referrals with limited results, consultants that work in the channel space or, various other businesses, but haven't had a huge amount of success in terms of developing channels for this. Go to the next slide, please.
How many customers do you have?
We have about 40 companies that are customers, and that equal about 100 users. I've got a slide that
$100 per month.
Average is we get about $2,000 per year from customers. So we have some that are individuals that are $100 a month, and some that are as much as $8,000 a year that they're paying some of the bigger companies.
Okay. is there a kind of any presentation that is becoming visible from the customers that you've been able to get so far, the 40?
Yeah, I've got some slides on. I've got a slide towards the end that we kind of break down our market. This is a sample of some of our customers. Some of these have been with us almost since the get-go. Companies like Fortinet, they're primarily all technology companies for the most part, as you can imagine. And they break down. I break, a lot of them in security. Just from my personal background, I did a lot of security. But I think our sweet spots really companies are selling in the SMB market because it's more of a numbers game there. Small businesses, they're harder to track, and they're always looking to add new partners. And then also managed providers is a growing market for smaller technology companies that take on the whole management of the infrastructure for smaller businesses. That seems to be a real sweet spot with us as well. We do, a fair amount in like cloud-based companies, pretty much the whole gambit of IT. We haven't done as much on the application layer, I guess, the ERP and CRM, but we do have a few smaller customers there. Range from startups to, really big companies. I'm sorry, that slide's pretty hard to read. But in terms of our market potential and how we segment the market, it's hard to put a number on what the potential marketing budget revenue is out there. But, I hear numbers, $350 billion technology sales in the U.S. If we say half of that flows to the channel, and you take an MDF co-op of 1% of that, and then take maybe a quarter of that is actually maybe revenue that or marketing funds that are spent to market to the channel rather than through the channel. I don't know. Anyway, so let's say 437.
This is not how we do TAM analysis. We typically focus on bottom-up TAM analysis. Okay. Top TAM analysis doesn't really mean a whole lot at least not in our world.
Okay. Fair enough. I tend to agree. There were numbers in there. We did some segmentation, though, if you can go through that. So we look at the companies we're working with, and we break them down by their revenue and whether they're in the hardware software vendor or whether they're in the service provider or hosting telecom space, because we have a mixture of different customers there. You can see the numbers that we have for customers that fit those profiles and how much they're paying on average monthly. And really, I think ultimately that the number we measure ourselves on is monthly recurring revenue, I guess is the number that we drive towards.
More like, yeah, that's right. That's more like it.
So from that standpoint, we see, unfortunately, the customers that pay $100 a month are almost just as much work as the ones that pay, $8,000 a year. We haven't really been able to break into the big companies, partly because a lot of them outsource a lot of their channel management and recruitment, new partner recruitment. But big companies like VMware, Cisco, and forth, HP, they all pretty much outsource that task from what I can tell. So we haven't really made much headway into those bigger accounts. But so that gives you some segmentation there. You can slide.
It's like $100 million market.
And this is taking a top down. If you look at the total number of businesses by our estimates this is North America, that are of these different sizes, and we say if we could get 5% of that market at the rates we've seen with our monthly revenues, we could do $100,000 a month in revenue. So.
I see. So you're showing this calculation. This is kind of like a revenue projection. It's a market potential now.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. All right. That's hiding on the slide is probably off.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a multi-billion-dollar business, right? It's but there's definitely a business to be had here, and we've certainly proven that.
We're not hung up on. We're not hung up on. You have to build a billion-dollar business. We are happy to.
Exactly, and that's what attracted me to your organization. You're focused at more the businesses that your goal is to get to $1 million in revenue and build a sustainable business and bring some value to people.
Well, you cannot get to $1 billion without getting to $1 million first. You're welcome to get to $1 billion, but you have to first get to $1 million. No
sure.
Or jump over the $1 million and get to $1 billion.
I agree. So the challenges and questions that I have, and part of them relate to the iRumbo site, and part of them to the Channel Navigator. Obviously, just to increase the average spend with each customer. I've already got 40 paying customers, right? How can I, increase my revenue with them? and accelerate the customer acquisition. And I keep getting pulled into, it seems like, being a media company, right? They have good programs for doing the email marketing for you, promoting your webinar, doing events, things like that. And it wasn't really my goal in starting the business to be a media company. And on the Rumbo side, I'm definitely being pulled into the content world, and it's a lot of work to create the content and be a media company. It wasn't really the model.
Rumbo is a logo, as far as I'm concerned. But these businesses, the Dun & Bradstreet type of businesses are, being built, obviously, and it's something that is, there's a lot of best practices on how to build these businesses. I did one of my, very startups in the area of lead generation and the kind of things that you're talking, not in the channel area, but it was the database and marketing leads and so forth. So it's an area I've actually spent a lot of time thinking about. I think you can build this business. You don't need to become a media company. You need to become an information services company. There's a very difference between a media company and an information services company. Your business, I saw one company on your slides, Discover.org. What are you doing with Discover.org?
Oh, there's more. Yeah. Henry? Yeah.
Company's business is very similar to what you're trying to do.
There's some other ones like that. They're focused on the end user enterprise space. I'm a channel kind of niche. It's a little more niche, but
it's very similar.
Yep.
So there are lots of precedences and case studies of how these businesses have been built. The Discover case study is on the 1M1M blog. You can go look it up. We've done that case study.
Oh, okay, cool.
Start there, and if you hang on, let me finish working. I think we have Lindsay as well to work with first, and then I will explain to you how we can help you further how the 1M1M program works after I'm done with Lindsay. So
okay, great.
You're up next. Let me actually bring up your slides here.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Go ahead.
So my company is Beauty Army, and we're disrupting the $15 billion beauty and personal care market. The total addressable market is $12 billion online, growing at a rate of 35%. This is the opportunity that we are addressing. The market is immensely cluttered. There's a list of retailers, right, the number of products. So just on Amazon alone, there are over 1-2 million different kinds of products available. And if you type in red lipstick to Amazon.com, you get 30,000 query results, which is a very bad, confusing experience for the consumer. And Sephora and Walmart have over 50,000 products total. This leads to a bad consumer experience. They're sifting through products. They're wasting time. They're wasting money. And that's something that we are addressing. Beauty Army matches consumers' products using attribute matching technology. So a consumer goes to the website, fills out a form so that allows us to collect explicit data, and then we recommend products for those people based on their attributes. So we're essentially narrowing down the very cluttered world of beauty to a specific set of products.
A per shopper, personalized store kind of business.
Exactly. Yeah. That works. So you go to the site and you click your skin and your skin color and then your hair type and different attributes. And this is the screen actual experience. And then you can see your beauty profile building on the right-hand side of the page. Next slide. Example of the hair question. So as you can see, more tiles build on the right-hand side. Next slide. And then we collect your beauty profile, and then it's personalized. So this is Josephine's personalized beauty profile. Then you click next, and you've got a personalized selection. Next slide, right here. And you can see your attributes, and then you're shopping for, and then your products. So on the back end, we're actually in a layer on top of the entire world of beauty. So we've done deals with retailers to get access to their product log. So we have 20,000 products in our catalog that we can personalize.
Okay. Who are these retailers? Walgreens.com,
drugstore.com, and beauty.com.
And is the model then an affiliate business model?
Yes. So we started drop shipping, but we found that it was way too time consuming to get these contracts with the individual brands. It did work for a while, but I think we kind of grew it, especially because our technology is personalization. It made more sense to personalize with more products. So we've been in business for 2 years. We launched January 1st, 2012. And we have contracts with 135 brands, some niche and some bigger. So Avon, Strivectin, Cover FX, some big ones and then some smaller ones. But it was just way too time consuming to get these contracts. So we decided to move to affiliate model. This is a snapshot of our brand new design that's launching in 2 weeks. Right now you see a different design.
How much affiliate commission are you getting?
So between 10 and 15%.
Okay.
So I'm the co-founder and CEO, undergrad degree in political science from the University of British Columbia. After college, I worked for Pepsi in the marketing department. I went into consulting for years and went to grad school. I've got a master's degree in integrated marketing and communication from Emerson College in Boston. And my first startup was a company that connected photographers, makeup artists, and models on fashion photo shoots in New York and in Boston. And that's actually when I came up with the idea for Beauty Army, just hearing about how difficult it was from models to find products in the market. Other is our co-founder and CTO. His second master's degree is MIT in space systems architecting, and then he worked at so he's a systems architect. He built the technology. So in e-commerce, there's a lot of perceived personalization, a lot of explicit data collection that doesn't actually affect anything. So we use a combination of both explicit and implicit data collection to recommend the product. He leads our team of programmers. Chris, VP Business Development, so she contacts the brands, and brands on board. Now that we're moving to an affiliate model, her job has shifted. So she's about communicating the data back to the brands, and we have a plan to monetize that way as well. Because it's data about the consumers who products. Nicole, UI UX expert, and she has done all of our design. And then we have someone doing relations, and then someone doing customer acquisition.
And how do you think about the TAM?
About the
How do you about the TAM?
The TAM.
Current business model, total available market?
Total available market is a $12 billion market, growing at 35%. So it's a huge market.
That's not your market, right? Your business model is an affiliate business model, so you're getting a 10 to 15% commission at most. It's 10 to 15% of 12 billion. Is that what you're?
Great question. So,
billion accessible in this mode, or there with access to and affiliate partnerships?
So you mentioned that that's actually just half of our business model, the affiliate marketing. We also have a sample subscription component to what we're doing. We get samples for free, and then we monetize from consumers. Actually, half of our business models are sample subscription service.
Okay.
Your question.
No, my first question is that, let's say, $12 billion currently and growing market on the web of beauty products. Is all that part of your target audience, or are there subsegments or other kinds of behavior within that market that is outside of your sweet spot?
Yeah, I think no, we are attacking the entire market. We want to be we're a layer on top of the entire world of beauty, and we want to be the service that people think of when they want to buy a product. So yes, we want a first step in the buying process.
Affiliate partners with that entire 12 billion market is my question.
Well, I mean, that is the entire market. We're going after is the whole beauty and personal care.
Let's look at your metrics. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're almost 2 years old. We've done very little paid advertising. We've grown organically. We've got over 800,000 web visits, 105,000 registered users. So those are people who've given us their email. We communicate to those people by sending them weekly letters. And it's generated over 830,000 revenue to date. We also have product reviews, so women love to shop by you, and star ratings. So we've collected 18,000 reviews. We're over 74,000 sample kits. So I mentioned we are moving to the affiliate model from dropship for full size, but we also have sample subscription where consumers pay us $12 a month, and so that's 90% of our revenues right now. And we still have over 18,000 subscriptions so far.
So the 830,000 revenues is primarily sample subscriptions, not affiliates.
Correct. Yes. We haven't transitioned to the affiliate model yet.
I see. Okay.
You can think of the phases. So the first phase was personalizing samples, and the second phase is personalizing the entire world of beauty online. Here's a snapshot of the competitive landscape. So as you can see, we're the only company that is both beauty-focused and personalized, which is a very interesting place to be in the market. The market is largely led by retailers, which are not. There's some implicit personalization, but no one is doing both explicit and implicit personalization.
Okay.
Here's a snapshot of revenue projection. Obviously, as monthly site visits increase, projected increase. So we do project by November 2015 to be generating $1 million monthly. Continue. We're actually raising around right now $1 million to give us 12 to 15 months runway, assuming growth. And there's those terms. We need this money to support operations, to support the personalization of the full shop. We want to build an app, and we want to hire a programmer and a designer.
You have $850,000 worth of revenue, $830,000 worth of revenue. Why are you raising money on a convertible note?
Well, it's quicker than equity. If somebody wanted to do the whole round, we would do a price round. A rolling close, and we have some money committed. We have one angel who is the VP of e-commerce from Esther, and we have angels committed, and we're actually looking specifically for a lead angel because we have we have checks committed, but nobody wants to really write check until we have a lead. So a convertible note is really the way to go.
But you don't write convertible notes without a lead either, right?
Exactly. So we're actually looking for a lead.
It just doesn't seem, it seems incongruous to me. Your finance strategy seems incongruous to me. The level you're at is not a revenue level where people probably will be particularly interested in doing a convertible note. They would want to do a straight up equity financing round.
We're definitely open to that. If they want to do like 5,000 or we have no problem doing an equity round. I think we're thinking about a note because we have smaller checks verbally committed, but we have no problem doing an equity round if somebody wants to do that.
I mean, at this point, I think this is actually ready for a full-on Series A financing.
So I'll talk to you about that. I've met with VCs, and it's a bit tough because they tend to be all men, and they really don't understand the problem. I hate to pull the gender card here, but that sort of seems to be the client. So I think that a smaller raise is, easier to close quicker, but
it's not so easy to close quicker or not. It's $830,000 worth of revenue. This company has valuation, a significant valuation. To get it right, the company has a significant valuation. And convertible.
Any instincts? Do you have instincts on what the value of the company would be?
I could raise money on this at a $5 million pre-money valuation easily, if not.
Yeah.
$7 million probably, 7 to 10 even.
Well, you can come with me to the next VC meeting.
Pardon?
You can come to the next VC meeting.
I don't know. I suspect you're not negotiating this right and you're not presenting this right.
You're probably.
I mean,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry?
Okay. We actually have significant interest from retailers to white label our technology. So we're actually in talks with Walgreens and Walmart to white label this. I'm very interested in this, Walgreens in particular.
Model for that.
So, business model, it would be a licensing fee. Working it out, these retailers can be sort of difficult to work with, but we think the best way to do this, and we actually are in the middle of negotiating this with Walgreens, monthly licensing fee, actually an upfront setup fee and a licensing fee for us to maintain the technology. So we'd essentially replicate beauty and charge the retailer a monthly fee to use it.
Because if you start and if you're still trying to build a brand of your own, what goes in the white labels for those retailers and what's on your site? Does that cannibalize what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great thing to point out. We've thought about that, and there is a level of cannibalization, but we think we think we can grow Beauty Army and white label at the same time. However, I do want to say that if we did a deal with Walgreens to white label, we wouldn't start it within the next at least 6 months. We're just too focused on building Beauty Army. We're just going through a redesign. So it's something that we would set up and then approach after we raise a Series A. It would just take up way too many of our resources to roll that out right now.
And I'm not completely convinced that investors would like that, because if you're building a consumer business, you're building a consumer business, and investors are going to fund the consumer business. If they want to do something else that is a licensing business that cannibalizes the consumer business without adequate upside, it depends on I haven't looked at your numbers and any of that, so it's hard for me to make a full. But but these are the questions that I would have if I were trying to evaluate whether I want to invest in this company or not. Those are the kinds of issues that I would have.
Yeah, I hear you, and I've had that feedback before. I think the way we think about it is it's kind of as a growth strategy, and it's something that we wouldn't do right now, but we do in the future, and it's relatively easy to do for us. It would require a couple of programmers and a project manager. I think that there are elements of cannibalization, but I don't think that it would be significant.
Kinds of things people do when they're trying to bootstrap and want cash.
Well, yes, certainly, and we're motivated by that because we do money to basically continue. So I think that
that's a reasonable strategy if you're not raising money. If the minute investors come into the picture, they're going to have a different opinion about the whole scenario.
Mhm.
That's my feedback. That if you're going the bootstrapping route, then those kinds of deals make sense because they bring you a lot of cash and a lot of sustainability while you're building your, main business.
Yeah.
But typically corporate deals are excellent bootstrap, basically.
Yeah. And so we are bootstrapped right now. So we definitely have a lean bootstrap mentality. So I think it makes sense for us to talk to Walgreens. But I hear on that. Yeah, I think it can be confusing because we are
probably.
Pardon me?
Would object to that strategy unless it's very clear cut on what business are you building.
I think that's feedback.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, I'm going to thank you for your pitch. It's good. What you've done so far is very good. I'm a fashion company, so I know this industry.
I saw that. Yes.
So let's spend a few minutes going over how we work with people, one-on-one, and we'll open it up for Q&A. So these are the telephone instructions. Those of you who are in the line can ask more questions afterwards as well. And those of you who are in the room, if you want to call in, you can call in through using this instructions. While getting your acts together, I'm going to spend 7 minutes just explaining to you how 1M1M works, okay? And if you look we're doing, please spread the word. We absolutely need serious entrepreneurs, not just kind of fantasizing entrepreneurs, people who have this fantasy of becoming an entrepreneur. We need real entrepreneurs who have real the metal with which to be successful and put work needed to build companies. So everything we have is actually situated at 1mby1m.com, and we start with a couple of layers of level resources like the blog, for instance. I rattled out a bunch of case studies today as I was working with various people. We do use case studies as one of our primary methods of teaching the curriculum in the program. So the blog is full of case studies. You put case studies go. And premium program, it's much more organized and synthesized and everything. I'll go over that in a minute. Excuse me, got this book cold. Place where you'll find a layer of resources that starts to synthesize the 1M methodology, even though it's actually, this book series started back in 2008. We didn't start 1M until the end of 2010. So the process of figuring out what is the methodology that we believe in and what we're going to teach and what constitutes, started putting all that together in this book series. So the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, which is on Amazon and Kindle, is something that you will learn a lot from. It's case study based with analysis and synthesis of methodology. Two cornerstone elements of our methodology are bootstrapping and positioning. We do believe you can put together a really efficient business unless you position the company. So you have to learn positioning, and positioning happens to be one of the poorly understood aspects of business out there. Startups don't understand positioning. They do a terrible job of positioning, and as a result, they can't sell. So I strongly recommend that you get your positioning right as soon as possible. Then, in terms of resources, the blog is on the site. You'll find a tab on the top right corner, and there's a whole bunch of other tabs that will get you to the other material that you want to use. We have lots of videos. So the program, actually the curriculum inside the premium program, is taught in videos. Tons of FAQ videos that will help you evaluate the program. These tables happen almost every Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Some exceptions, like next week we have a closed session. It's the public session because we have a final of a program we're doing with Oracle. It's a corporate incubation program. So that's a closed session, and we will not have a free public roundtable on Thursday morning for that reason. But no, we have, Thursday mornings generally we have free public roundtables. So this is the 96th, so the 200th is coming up on January 9th. It's been a, widely utilized program around the world. It's always interesting for me to see who's in the room. So that's something I would request you, if you're in them enjoying the presentations, about you. We have to learn who you are, where you're dialing from, what you're working on, and so forth. It always is interesting to see diverse population attend these events every week. We said with probably mostly the US, we've had a lot of adoption in India right from the very beginning, but we've seen a lot of action from Latin America recently, Europe, UK, Israel. We see people coming from a lot of different geographies. So if you want to book your slot to pitch in an upcoming roundtable, just use the free public roundtable page and you'll find the entire schedule, the registration pages to attend, to pitch, everything. In the premium program, we charge a $1,000 annual membership fee for unlimited access to extensive methodology guidance. We give you a curriculum. About the curriculum in a minute. We help you business development. We have strategy consulting. That's the interactive element of the program, which is very similar to these sessions. There are also WebEx sessions like this. And we'll help you with financing and media relations. Club on the website is where you will find some of our companies that are, past or crossing $1 million in revenue. Our equation is $375,000 plus 5 to 10% of equity, $1,000 annual membership fee. So it's very, very high value, very rich value program. If you use the program the way it's designed to be used, it's like a gym. So membership doesn't make you lose weight. Do the work, right? You have the weights, you have to climb the stairs, and you have to do all the things. So this is very similar. We have a whole lot of things that we offer you through the program, but you have to use them. And if you do, then you can get tremendous value out of the program. That is the long and short of it. The 1M1M self-assessment, which you can access publicly, is a questions that helps you calibrate your business against questions and issues that you would need to, get right in trying to build your business to a successful, thriving business. You're going to need to address these issues. If you're a premium member, we also provide you with curriculum modules to plug the knowledge gaps. So let's say you don't know how to do bottom-up market sizing. We'll have a module that will teach you that, and you can access that through this page as well. There's a lot of material with which you can evaluate the program, what to expect, there are lots of video FAQs that address all the commonly asked questions. The curriculum is divided into two parts. We have a core set of modules and an elective set of modules, and the fourth is case studies and video lectures. We've been developing case studies since 2006. So today we have the largest, most comprehensive and in-depth collection of case studies in early stage technology and technology-both services, entrepreneurship, anywhere in the world. And essentially, you could think of this program as being taught to you over 600 entrepreneurs who have taken the time to share their journeys and their lessons. And what we've done is taken all of those case studies, taken the different kinds of questions that we've been getting from you for all these years through all these mentoring sessions, and we've created a synthesized curriculum that is delivered in video lectures and case studies. So in your curriculum, you'll learn 7 modules. All of you will need to learn these. Bootstrap positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, team building. On the electives, we have Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, where we also see a lot of big data right now, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, education, gaming. All these are elective modules. So depending on what is your business, what area are you working in, you can use those as well. So you have access essentially to any part of the curriculum. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. No matter whether you raise money or not, even if you want to raise money, you're going to have to bootstrap the early stages of the business. You have to get to a certain level of validation before an investor, even seed investors, are willing to invest in you. We see this all the time, is that the switch seed plays get further and farther away. So we're going to need to bootstrap. Over 99%, by the way, of companies who try to raise money get rejected. So you have to kind of play a probability game and try to teach you what are the elements of the game. Right. So in terms of relations, we have also learned that there's a true challenge that early stage entrepreneurs face in getting any attention from the media. The media is interested in covering funding stories. It's a big funding round that you've closed. The media is not interested in covering your story. So we have a lot of clout in the media, and we have put it together such that we give you coverage. We have a ton of different syndication relationships, all sorts of things through which we manage to get you coverage. And that's something that we have folded into the program such that you can get your brand, your product, your service out there. Through our social media channel. We have a very large social media channel, and we let you use our social media channel. If you go look at this video, how you can use the 1M1M Twitter channel on the website, at the bottom, it's a public video. You will see what philosophy is, and how we use social media, how we develop the channel, and flow. We kind of tie all this into Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you can use our channel to get your videos out there. We also give coverage on our blog. A lot of investors are monitoring the blog. A lot of customers are monitoring the blog, so people get to know about you through the coverage that we do. We have an affiliate program, so those of you who are working on entrepreneurship-related blogs or media or entrepreneurship development organizations, you're welcome to become an affiliate partner of 1M1M. And here is the roster of the upcoming roundtables. We have 3 more roundtables this year in December, 5th, 12th, and 19th, all 8 a.m. Pacific time. And then January 9th, we're going to have our 200th roundtable. That's going to be a celebration, and we're still planning that celebration. So I'm sure something interesting there. Okay, those of you in India, if you're still looking for an idea to latch onto, go look at the Vision India 2020 book. Published for $45 billion business ideas. It will help you ideate and come up with something that may be interesting. We have an incubator in a box program which enables anyone in any part of the world, companies, angels, VCs, governments, schools, entrepreneurship development organizations, to easily and rapidly launch an incubator or extend your incubator. And sometimes we have incubators, but they're far removed from Valley, and they don't have have the resources to really do for good quality incubation, and we can definitely help you there because we are a virtual program. We can work with any physical incubation in any part of the world and enhance your quality of services. A couple of new books. The Feminine Feminism book is at the press. It's actually if you go to Kindle today, the Kindle store, for the next couple of days, there is a promotion going on the Feminine Feminism book. Normally it costs $99, but you can get it downloaded for free right now if you go to the Kindle store. And another book, very recent book, is The Other 99% Entrepreneur's Fortune in the Middle of the Pyramid. Look it up. These are small, books, easy, and very punchy. Lots of information that is very quick and punchy, insightful stuff that will help you navigate your own journey. Okay, back to call-in instructions. Is anybody interested in calling in? Please let me know in public chat if you're calling in. Let me look at the questions that are here. Venkat Bhamipati says, I work for Cognizant India and might reach out for some help to incubate something internally within the company in a few weeks. Now, we do a lot of internal incubation programs. We have a very significant partnership with Oracle, for example. We're doing their entire internal incubation effort right now. Luis Montes says, Sramana, you're a 2-member co-founding team. Can we join your program as a team, or does each one of us need to join separately? You can join as a team, Luis. You can one of you can buy the subscription and can share the account, and you can both join the roundtables and participate in the calls and everything. So 1 membership per team is fine. Manya Zareka, I'm Mumbai IMC alumni, 14 years experience in sales and marketing. Recently, 5 months back, launched my own online store, ThompsonBabies.com, for maternity, baby, kids wear and products. Trying to build a prototype before approaching investors. Okay, good. Don't approach investors with just a prototype. There's a lot more work involved to get to interest investors. The navigating investor thing is a whole on itself. There's a bunch of things that you need to get lined up before you can get any traction from investors. Anything else? Any questions, comments? Anybody calling in? Sramana says, great, thank you, Sramana. Really enjoy reading your blog content, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that. It makes it worthwhile for us to do the work that we do. As you can imagine, this whole action, this 1M1M, the entire 1M1M production is a immense amount of work from the team. So I'm very glad to know that you like it. Anybody? Questions, comments? I see a lot of people in the room, but I'm pretty sure that I don't know all of you, and you don't know one another. So, do the opportunity to introduce yourselves. Louis says loves Capitalism 2.0. He's a Rand fan. I'm a Rand fan. Okay, cool. Where are you located? Louis, but you're sending a bunch of private messages to me, so I don't think the rest of the room can read what you're writing to me. To pitch at a roundtable in a few weeks' time. That sounds great. Here we go. Who wants to call in? The dial-in information is on the screen. And folks, we will give you also a contact person to call if you would like to talk to somebody about 1M1M, and if you want to, dial somebody whether 1M1M is right for you, if you have any questions on how the program operates. Irina Patterson is your contact. Yeah, she's in the room. Irina, could you please put in your information, phone, Skype, and email? Person works for 1M1M, and she's going to be your contact person. Irina type is Irina_Patterson. Or 986-301-2456. And Irina at 1mby1m.com. Stefan just got at the company. I lost the talk. In Brazil, we are at our work time right now. You should do another one another time. So you can listen to the recordings. The recordings are available on YouTube. Every single recording is available on YouTube.
Hi, Venkat here.
Venkat. Good.
Yes, the program was pretty good. I just wanted to thank you for giving the opportunity to join this program.
Sure.
I enjoyed it.
Great.
A couple of questions. So your premium membership for 1 million by 1 million program is about $1,000 for a person, right?
Yeah, it's $1 per team, actually. A team uses the program through one.
Oh, for the music?
Yeah.
Okay. I am interested in trying to figure out how that would work in a corporate environment, because I work in the media and entertainment space, and we are trying to build a practice, and we do try to submit some business plans with the organization to get funding, and that is where I wanted to see how we can leverage this kind of program and what it can help for us.
So what
to really.
I'm going to point you to a few things, and then if you could please send me an email, we'll give you, one of us an email. My email is Sramana@1mby1m.com. What you need to look at is the Incubator in a Box program. So if you send me an email, I will point you to where all the information about our corporate incubation program is. If you go to the website, the Incubator in a Box program is, if you do a Google search, Incubator in a Box 1M1M, you'll be able to find all the information.
I'll send a mail to send it to Irina Patterson email that you sent, or
yes, you can send it Irina, and you can send it. She'll forward it to me. That's fine. We'll take care of it. Why don't you touch base with us, and then we'll make sure that you have all the information that you're looking for.
All right, good. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Let me see the bunch of other companies, other comments here. Nupur Srivastava, Sramana, it was really good reading your book, The Other 99% Entrepreneurs, and now reading Feminine Feminism. Both of them are an excellent read. Great, Nupur, very good to hear. Where are you located? New Jersey, okay. Nupur, if you're enjoying the books, please also take the time to review them, because as you know, in anything or in bringing anything to market, the market's response, the reader's response is incredibly important. So we would appreciate your reviews. Thank you much. Go ahead, Nupur, you have a question. Maureen, can you give the LinkedIn link for Stefano here? He's looking at the LinkedIn, sorry, not LinkedIn, the YouTube channel link. Go ahead. Have an idea and can't hone in on any. Okay. Yes, actually, what we encourage people to do is to. Are you working right now? Do you have a job? Good. My suggestion is keep your job. And there's a piece that I just wrote on the blog this week. And it was in the email that we sent out. Yesterday. How to bootstrap your business while holding on to your job. And usually, if you don't have you don't have an idea, you're not sure what you're going to do, you have kind of an idea that is not validated perhaps, all these different permutations and combinations of entrepreneurship states, we prefer that you hold on to your job and using the 1M program to develop your idea, to learn the methodology, and start validating your idea. So Nupur, recommend you do is go to the website, go to blog, and cut this how to bootstrap your business while holding on to your job post. And there's a full kind of step-by-step guideline on what to do. So I suggest you follow that. Don't quit your job right now. But pretty sure we can step you through the process of how to come up with the idea and how to kind of get thoughts together. Yeah, definitely. Is it bootstrap business while working in India? Yes, it is legal to bootstrap business while working anywhere unless you have a contract that specifically, explicitly prohibits that. You have to get your contract, your employment contract. The contracts that explicitly prohibit, but most contracts, I don't think most contracts are able to and legitimately prevent you from with your own time. Of course, you're not going to be in your business while sitting at an employer. You're going to have to do it at your own time. You have to do it nights and weekends, or so that's encroaching on your employer's resources or time. But we do encourage you to hold a job while you're learning things. Anand asks, good to the selfless dedication to 1M by 1M. Curious to know your inspiration. I'm an entrepreneur, Anand, and 1M is an entrepreneurial venture. It's a virtual incubator, but it's a business. It's not a profit. It's not a foundation. It's not selfless necessarily. I believe in providing value and being compensated for value. So, but I do believe in entrepreneurship at a very, very deep level, and I think, I've done a lot of work in thinking about what is a reasonable, scalable entrepreneurship development system that can have, impact on the world, not just make 5 companies successful, but really make millions of companies successful, millions of entrepreneurs successful. So for it's you may have read some of my writings on this. This is kind of what we are experimenting with in 1M by 1M is a fundamental model change for capitalism. Democratization of capitalism, democratization of entrepreneurship education, democratization of incubation, democratization of management consulting. We are testing a bunch of different ideas, and actually this is working. You know, we're working with thousands of entrepreneurs in all parts of the world right now. So at least, even though we're not at millions yet, but at many thousands and tens of thousands layer, we are working. The model is working. So it's, you know, many entrepreneurs' inspiration. My inspiration is to do something meaningful, to have impact, to add value to the world, and make a difference. Question, Anand? Kind of at the end of the session, guys. We try to end at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So I think we're going to today. Anand, do you think it's wholesome? I think it's wholesome too. I think it's great. Well, thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you again the December 5th session. That's our next public roundtable. As I said, we're not going to be here next week because we have a closed session. Or rather, we will be here. We wouldn't be able to invite you into the session. And we will continue to work with more entrepreneurs in more different parts of the world. Bye, buddy. Good luck with your projects.